All right, everybody, welcome back to Bourbon Flights OKC Season 2, episode lucky number 13. Eric is always with my co-host Jason. This is Whiskey Showdown, Adictivo Small Batch versus Black Draft Straight Bourbon. Not really a Whiskey Showdown. I mean, it is, but one's a bourbon, one's a whiskey. This is also a weird one.
Yes.
I mean, the only reason this is weird is because it's from West Virginia. That's a whole other country. That's a whole other thing that's going on over there.
So apparently some of the craft tequila companies are venturing into the whiskey business. And this is it a whiskey or is it a bourbon? It is a whiskey. Okay.
It's a whiskey.
Yes. Yeah, it is done like traditional American whiskey is done, only in Mexico. Liquor store owner I spoke with, Sooner Wine and Spirits down in South Oklahoma City on South May, said he has loved this, and some other folks that he has given it to that like Elmer Thiele and other things like we do.
Yep.
They said they loved it as well, so I bought a bottle to try out.
Why not?
Mexican whiskey, can't go wrong. Those are
my
people.
You're half Mexican. Those are your people. So I'm just going to read a brief about because this is something super unique.
They are Mexicans.
Yes, Mexican whiskey, which is in and of itself its own thing.
A new thing starting apparently.
So what they do is it's a small batch single malt, which I know you're not a fan of single malt. Single malt whiskey, produced and bottled by Vitro Tequileria in Jalisco, Mexico. The spirit is aged for 5 years in American oak casks, and it's finished in Adictivo casks, tequila casks.
Oh, it is in tequila casks.
So, yes, it is.
Okay, that one.
We're still having connection problems on TikTok. We're also live on TikTok now. So if you want to watch the podcast episodes live, go give us a follow on TikTok, Bourbon Flights OKC. Generally, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll record. So come hang out with us. That way you can just watch it live and you don't have to wait till Wednesday for it to come out.
And you can see how bad we messed things up.
That's right.
Have to do takes.
Yeah, I mean, but we did okay last time.
Yeah.
After our initial... Oh, the audio's not recording.
I forgot to record audio. Anyway.
Any hums. All right. So which one do you want to start with first? So this is 90 proof. What is this is 96.
That is 80 proof.
Okay, so let's start with Black Draft.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. This is 80 proof?
Yes.
We'll start with
the
this then.
The
Adictivo. It's a crazy bottle.
It is.
Is this the Adictivo on the left?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
Oh,
it smells like plums.
Smells like tequila.
A little. To me, I smell a little tequila.
It's
and
a little
plums.
tequila, like maybe not so much like tequila to me as agave. God, it smells good. Like plums, a little plum. Power suggestion.
Is that a stone fruit or a red fruit?
I'm gonna go with stone fruit. It's probably both, right? The fruit is kind of red.
Yeah, it turns purple.
Yeah,
but it is red. But it does have that stone pit in it. That is very sweet.
So as our friend Ed from Oak City Bourbon said, they add sugar to this, and you can definitely tell because that is super sweet.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's almost too sweet for me.
Yeah, it's too.
You know who would like that? The wives. That's a good wife bottle. If your wife doesn't drink whiskey, she should try that.
That almost tastes like somebody did a cigar cut whiskey and then added a bunch of sugar to it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like smoking like an acid cigar where it's like been dipped in that like sugary concoction.
Oils, yeah.
It's not great. Not bad, not great.
It's not bad. It's not my thing though.
Definitely not my thing. So, tasting notes, Vanarla. It's Vanarla.
You know,
vanilla, caramel, fruit, surprising amount of heat. Surprising amount of heat.
There's no heat.
All right, let's drinkit.com. Settle down. There's no heat on this at all.
There's no heat. There's no spice.
It's just vanilla caramel sugar is what it tastes like to me.
And a little bit of plum to me.
Yeah, it's not good.
I think Nick might like this. The neighbor Nick.
Yeah.
He likes tequila.
Taste, smoke, fruit, mint, vanilla, toffee, oak. Yeah. I get the smoke.
I get the smoke.
Obviously get the fruit. I'm not... Mint?
I don't get any mint. Maybe if someone walked by and waved a mint leaf as they were passing by, but I don't. But that is a good analogy, the acid cigars.
Yeah, it's like liquid acid cigars to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not awful.
It's just
I'm
different.
not. It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's too sweet for me.
So
I don't
and
do
here's my
sugar.
thing. I'm tempted to put it into this. The death. If you guys haven't seen the podcast, this is our death
smooth
bottle.
things out.
So this is our infinity bottle for things that we don't like.
How many wrongs to make it right?
How many wrongs to make it right? I'm tempted to put it in there, but at the same time, it's not like a true bourbon. It's something weird. It's something different. There's so much sugar in it. It's really gonna. I mean, there's not much in here to begin with. It's really gonna like sweeten everything that's in there.
Yeah, if you like sweet cocktails, this would be a good drink for you.
Yeah, like if you're making a Manhattan or honestly,
That might not.
if
be
you're
a bad-
making an old fashioned, so like my big thing now is, and I know I run a bourbon podcast. I understand that. I like mezcal old fashions more than I like whiskey old fashions, and I will tell you why. A lot of places will smoke
yes,
their old fashions, and you get that gross like film on your glass, on your bourbon. Like it's just not.
to
great.
me, it's like you're trying to drink by a bonfire and the smoke's
Yeah,
blowing
it's
in your
not
face,
great.
and you're just like.
So the reason I like mezcal old fashions so much is because with mezcal old fashions, you get a smokier alcohol, right? Because mezcal kind of has a smoke to it already,
Right.
without having to actually put smoke into the cocktail.
glass. Yeah, gotcha.
This would probably be good for a regular old fashioned because it already has that sweet level to it. My concern though is once you put like the cherries and the other stuff in it, is it going to be too sweet?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, you already
A
kind of
lot
got
of sugar in there.
you kind of got a dark
A lot
cherry.
of sugar in there.
Excuse me, almost have like a black cherry taste to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't even know if you would,
No.
if you need to add it.
Yeah. It's not great.
I mean, I'll bet if we put that in the freezer,
This is a weird bottle. I don't know how I feel about it.
it's different.
This is a good wife bottle. Do you mind me asking how much you paid for that?
Yes, I do mind.
You got to give the viewers.
It was 80. It's on the bottle. It was $83.
$83 you paid for that?
I did.
Sorry to hear that.
Hey, at least
You're trying stuff. You're trying stuff.
and the viewers don't
you
have to
guys
waste
don't
the
have
money.
to try it. We're doing this for you.
Yes.
Okay.
My financial loss is your financial gain.
That's right. That's right.
No, I think if I put that in the freezer, I think the ladies would love it.
Absolutely.
Nice and cold.
That is a great. It's different. It's got a story to it. It is of your people. It is just way too sweet for me.
I'm gonna say this is a Mexicant. You can't.
It's a Mexicant. I don't think it's fair to put it in the.
I don't think it's that bad.
Either of them.
I think it's just not my thing. It's just
I
too
don't
sweet.
like it, but the problem is it's so sweet it would ruin what we're trying to do with the bad infinity bottle. You know what I mean? It would just ruin it. All right, so Black Draft. My wife's college roommate and one of her best friends came down month or two ago. I don't know.
It's November.
Was it November?
Yeah.
They live outside of Martinsburg, West Virginia. Shout out Aves Lock and Key. If you live in West Virginia and you need a locksmith, call Aves Lock and Key. And then her friend Keisha owns an apothecary, and I did not do my research. I'm not sure what the name of the apothecary is, but
Horrible
I'm a
person.
terrible friend. Awful. But anyway, they brought, amongst other things, which will not be named, they brought this, which is, I guess, right up this road from their house. Mm-hmm. It's from Black Draft, which is a West Virginia bourbon, which, to my knowledge, is the only West Virginian bourbon that is out there. I don't know either. So this is Black Draft Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It is a bourbon from the Black Draft Distillery. The bottler is Distillery Bottling, so they don't do their own bottling, but that's fine. It's
made from local non-GMO grains.
Hey, non-GMO.
Blended with artisanal waters.
From
of Berkeley Springs.
Yeah, probably some like really good water, like clean mountain water. It is 48% alcohol, which means it's 96 proof. So we've drank A lot of it. I actually really liked it for what it is. A little bit like lower proof for me. Little bit more mellow, but like what's cool is Ave brought this for me, obviously. He's not a big bourbon guy, but like we probably drank half the bottle one night. So it's cool that there's stuff out there that has a unique story, like being from the mountains of West Virginia, that people can share with you and get into, even if they're not a huge whiskey or bourbon person.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, for me, like there's more of a story behind this bottle than probably for most, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah. It smells good. I mean,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's
good.
Smooth.
Yep, it's not bad.
It's not bitter.
Nope.
It's not oily. It's not too dry.
Nope.
You get the good oak flavor, not too much though.
Yeah, for me, like it's a bourbon, but it's not boring isn't the right word. It's not super exciting, but it's not boring either.
Yeah.
Like this is a good drink for me. This is a bottle to have around the house when people are coming over and they're like, oh, I don't really like bourbon. Show them this because this is everything that a bourbon is. It's lower proof, so people will enjoy it. It's vanilla, oak, caramel, not really a whole lot going on other than that. But, you're drinking a true American bourbon.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I do notice is it's super clean.
Yeah.
Like, which I think is probably the testament from the water. I don't know where Berkeley Spring is, but like I'm a huge pizza nerd. Love
downtown
pizza.
LA.
Downtown LA.
I'm just
we
kidding.
truck it across the country. No, but I'm a huge pizza nerd, and if you know anything about pizza, the reason the dough is good is because of the water that you use to make the dough. So like that's why New York City, because their water is so filtered and is like some of the best water in the United States. That's why their dough is so good. So I wonder if that's what's really adding to this bourbon is the fact that you have some like super clear natural spring water that you're using as opposed to like just taking it off the tap in your distillery and, filling up your mash tuns with them. But I think it's good.
I think it's good too.
Yeah,
and I think it's nice because it'd be something that even a lot of collectors wouldn't have on their shelf.
Yeah. So this is from whiskey-base.com, which I just found out. This is actually kind of cool. Whiskey-base.com. So they'll put up a bottle and you can kind of write your own reviews. So it's like we could go on there and like create our account and leave reviews for people. So this is from Carl Fritz. This was from Christmas Eve last year at 3:52 a.m. So I don't know how much we're going to trust this guy.
Should be good. Brutal honesty.
That's right. So a little bit about Carl Fritz, 30-year plus Scotch single malt enthusiast. We were acquainted with bourbon a couple years ago. It's become the bourbon I offer to hardcore Scotch drinkers, meaning the black draft, which is interesting because it's not a single malt.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is too sweet, but this is actually a single malt where this is a true American bourbon, right? On the nose, vanilla, oak, the typical bourbon corn aroma with maybe a hint of grass. I don't get the grass. It's a bourbon to me, right? Like it's just your typical.
It's smoother than most
bourbon. Yeah, it's not offensive. It's not spicy. Taste vanilla and oak carries throughout. Shocker.
Yeah.
There's a feel of Scotch, which suggests a barley component higher than the rye. There's just the merriest hint of the last, meaning the rye. The taste is sweet, but never rises to anything being annoying, just very enjoyable and tasty, which I agree. It's not sweet as in like this.
Yes, yeah.
It's sweet as in you're getting a lot of that caramel and vanilla, which is overpowering like the oak. Right?
Yeah. This is like if the kids made the Kool-Aid and you gave them the 5-pound
pour
bag
a
of
gallon
sugar.
of Kool-Aid in there. Yeah. Yeah.
Like a 5-pound bag of sugar in
For sure.
Now, if you like sweet, that's your that might be your thing. I don't do sugar, so that's just too much for me.
It's too much. Finish nicely in parentheses as compared to Jack and Jim with essentially no finish. Just very smooth throughout is all he says, which I would agree with.
I would agree with that.
I would agree with. Carl Fritz, you're welcome for making you internet sensation on whiskey-base.com. I don't know. I mean, this guy was clearly wasted at 3:52 a.m.
I thought he did well for 3:52.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I remember
Christmas
last
Eve
time we
years
were
ago.
drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning. It did not go
It
well.
was not well. No, it
We-
usually doesn't go well when it gets past about midnight or 1 a.m. anymore. It's the product of growing old.
At least we
unfortunately.
were responsible enough to make sure we remained outside of the house
Yeah.
out of respect for the others until we were done laughing
Well,
at each
we
other.
would have gone in a lot sooner had it not been for you making irrational and silly comments, and I started laughing again, and we couldn't go inside. That's a different story
Sorry,
for
yeah.
another time.
Anyway,
I like this.
I do.
It's good. I don't know like how widely it's distributed. I don't know if it's like a Northeast thing. If you can even say West Virginia's in the Northeast. I guess that's like, what do you call that? Is it the Midwest? No,
It's kind of in between.
it's in betweener state.
Yeah, kind of like Oklahoma. We're not south. We're not.
No, we're south. We're south. We're arguably south. I mean, there's only one state below us until you get to another country, right? So, all right, let's go. We'll start with this. The Adictivo Whiskey out of 10.
I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not my thing. I mean, so I hope I don't mean to rate it low, reflecting on its bad quality or anything. It's just not my thing. It's like a 3 for me.
It's a 3 for me as well.
Yeah.
I
think some people
there are
will
some
enjoy
good
it.
things going on in there. It is just way too sweet, and it's obviously added sugar because it's not a bourbon, right? You can't add sugar to bourbon, but you can add sugar to whiskey. Clearly, there's been, I don't know if it's sugar or whatever it is, but there's definitely been
I would be curious.
added sweetness.
I
right?
would be curious to see what our man Dennis at Cachet could do with this in a mixed drink.
Yeah, I think it's a
he
good
could
cocktail
figure.
whiskey.
I think I agree, and I think he could figure
Yes,
something else. That
yes,
would be
I think it's a
just
good
amazing.
cocktail whiskey. Again, shout out to Rose Creek Country Club, Cachet. Our boy Dennis in there is a mix master.
Yeah.
Black Draft out of 10.
I mean, I give it a 7, 6,
That's
5,
where I'm
7.
at. I'm a 7 all day.
It's
on
good.
That.
I mean,
It's good. It's easy.
I could keep this in the cabinet
don't
all
know
the time
how
if I was
much.
available.
I don't know how much it costs. Let me see if I can find it, because my thing is like if it's fairly inexpensive, like that's just a good keep it around the house.
Yeah.
Don't want to break into my expensive stash
Yeah,
kind of deal.
I would agree.
That is $50.
A little more than I
A
thought it would be.
little overpriced for me.
Yeah, I think a little overpriced.
But again, there's something interesting about getting something that's not widely distributed. You know, I would probably go pay that again. Or, I didn't pay for it. It was gifted to me. But I would probably go pick that up because I know it. There's a story for me, right? It's a little bit more emotional for me than it is for you.
Well,
you
I
know?
wonder if that's based on, East Coast prices because, their rent's higher, everything's higher out there, and they might have to charge more. So if it was something distributed out here, it might be less.
Yeah. One of these was good. One of these was bad. Would you be interested in putting this into this?
I'd be fine with that.
Okay. So while I gather my things, why don't you describe what that is?
So this is our infinity bottle of all of our favorites of our bourbons and whiskeys that we've tried on the show. Obviously, there's been quite a few. Has there been any one that we've put 2 ounces in?
No.
Okay. I know we have the Bottled and Bond private barrel pick in there from Wine Barrel. Jance Miller picked that. It was still a great pick. I did get him some of that barrel pick Bottled and Bond I brought back from Texas. He said it was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think you kind of agreed. I agreed
You
with him.
mean
The one you have, yes.
this one?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, that is a good one. It's definitely not as good as the Wine Barrel one to me,
Right.
but it is quite good.
And that's what we both agreed on that. That one's
Yes.
sweeter, but his is smoother. But good luck getting Jets to part with a bottle of his because I don't think he has
Correct.
much less.
Correct.
And you're going to have to be
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
good luck. But still good. If you get 1792 Bottle and Bond,
Yeah.
that was great.
Quite good. No
So-
problems with it.
Thoughts?
Comments? Concerns? Accolades,
Again, I
questions?
think would be a good one to throw in the freezer or do some cocktails with.
Definitely too sweet to just sit there and
just
drink.
I mean, now if you like that kind of sweet stuff, then I'm sure there's some people that really like.
Oh
that
yeah,
sweet.
I mean, obviously,
And
there's
he
a
did
reason
warn
they're
me-
charging $83.
He did
for
warn
it.
me it was sweet, but I wasn't thinking it was going to be that. I thought sweet you get, with like Elmer Teely, you get some
Well,
sweeter.
so the problem is when somebody says something sweet and it's a whiskey, not a bourbon,
Yeah.
they can do pretty much anything
Yeah,
they want
anything
to
they
it,
want,
right?
yeah.
Whereas if somebody has a bourbon and they say it's sweet, you're probably going to get more caramel, more like you get a
Red
caramel
fruits.
bomb, vanilla bomb, but nobody's adding
Right,
things to it to
right.
make it sweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I don't think it's bad. It's a good cocktail whiskey for me. I would probably never drink it by itself again, ever.
Yeah.
It's just so sweet.
Yeah. I agree.
Black Draft, Avon Keisha, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Killed the bottle. Really good.
Yeah, it's great hanging out with him too.
Yep. Oh, always good hanging out with us too. All right. Do you have anything more?
Let's go drink some more bourbon.
Oh, I gotta go to a Christmas party
And
tonight.
eat.
That's right. That's right. Again, for you folks on TikTok or you folks listening at pre-recorded on YouTube, we are doing all of these on TikTok Live now at Bourbon Flights OKC on TikTok. You can come see us record the episode before it goes out on YouTube. Right, we release them on
Wednesdays.
YouTube and Spotify on Wednesdays. We generally record Friday, Saturday, Sundays before that. So feel free to come hang out with us. I've got the chat open. Say silly things. Give us recommendations. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. But yeah, we're doing the TikTok thing now. We've got a pretty good following on there.
Better than
And I
others.
think it's cool to like have people sit in on our podcast. And I'd like to get to the point where we're popular enough where people will come in on TikTok and ask questions or, give recommendations or say, no, you're wrong. Or, yeah, I love this one. I mean,
Yeah,
I
and if
think
there's
that's
something
what's-
you want us to try or something you have a recommendation for, let us know.
Please let us know.
And where you got it.
We do live in Oklahoma, but we can usually get stuff. I travel for work, so if there's something that maybe I can't find here, I can look for it out on the road. But yeah, I mean, I'm stoked that we've got like the podcast going. We've got the TikTok going. Look at us,
Yeah.
33 episodes in. Here we are.
And I do want to say hello to Carlton, my little brother's dad, my half brother's dad.
Yeah.
Carlton, we're the only subscription.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
Nice.
He's watching
that's
the podcast.
awesome.
so-
On YouTube,
Yeah, on
Nice,
YouTube.
nice.
So
that's
he's
awesome.
yeah,
That's
good guy.
super funny. Does he do the dance?
He does not.
Oh.
He was a Marine.
Oh.
in Vietnam. Yeah,
Carlton, Fresh Prince Bel-Air.
Yes, I know what you're
something
talking
like that.
about.
We got to get
Yes.
that guy to come on the podcast and do the Carlton dance.
Yeah. He probably at least studied
Yeah,
before
that's
he
fair.
did that.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Last thoughts, comments, concerns, criticisms, questions, accolades. I don't have any either. This will probably air. This episode will probably air around Christmas time. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope you and your loved ones are well. We will not be taking a break probably for the rest of season 2, so you can expect regular episodes every Wednesday.
Oh, and maybe we can, if you want to see it, let us know. If you want to see us doing a little bourbon hunting out live too, we can do
Yes,
that now.
we can do that. We have the
We've
whole
ex-
setup now.
Yeah.
I should more say you've spent, but we collectively have spent a lot of money on making these things happen. So, all right, you ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us on this bourbon journey through OKC. Remember, there is a world of bourbon out there waiting to be explored, one sip at a time. Until next time, keep your glasses full and your spirits high. Cheers.
Cheers.